The Wu-Tang Clan is one of the most influential groups in hip hop. And the members of the Wu-Tang Clan grew up on Staten Island watching what they called kung fu movies. So they were deeply influenced by what they saw in these movies. And as they became artists, they tried to incorporate facets of Eastern religion into their music as they interpreted Eastern religion through these kung fu movies that they watched. In fact, their name Wu-Tang Clan or Wu-Tang comes from a kung fu movie. So one of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan, RZA, not too long ago made a pilgrimage to the Wudang Mountains in China, and he encountered a group of monks there and was really struck by the serenity of the monks in the Wudang Mountains. He said that the monks there practice internal before external. And because of that, their smiles start in their bellies and then come up through their faces. So I think we've all been in that position where we've put a smile on our faces, although inside we weren't really smiling on the inside. So the practice of yoga is a practice that should start from the inside. We focus on the health on the inside and let the external form take care of itself. When we do yoga asana or yoga poses, the poses are a form, but they are informed by what's happening on the inside. So when you are at some point back in a yoga studio that's full of people, look around and you'll notice that everybody is doing Crescent Pose, but each Crescent Pose looks a little bit different. Part of that is because our bodies are a little bit different, or we're differently abled in our bodies, but also part of it is because what is on the inside of each person is being expressed through the form of that pose. So as we go through our practice today, let's focus on the health of the inside and let the external take care of itself. So we'll be doing a lot of forward bends today and moving from some of those forward bends into back bends and letting the back bend be an expression of whatever is happening on the inside. So take your seat that's comfortable, but sit a little taller in this seat and close your eyes. Turn within. Turn your hearing within, turn your vision within, and hear and see what's on the inside for you today. Bring your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, and make your commitment to let your external form today be an expression of what's on the inside. If you have a smile today, let it come from your belly and then express itself on your face, like the monks in the Wudang Mountains. As you exhale, bow towards your heart, that place that holds your intention, that place that holds everything that's on the inside. And then release your hands down to your lap. Sit a little taller again, lift your heart up. Let that lifting of your heart be an expression from the inside to the outside. And then lift your eyes open. All right, if you're gonna play music, go ahead and press or tap play. And then we will meet on our mats in Crocodile Pose. So that means you're gonna be on your belly, elbows flared out to the sides, one palm on the mat, the other palm on top of that one, and then your forehead on top of the top palm. Take your legs a little wide. In your Crocodile Pose. So, letting the front body rest down onto the floor.
Feel through your belly and through your chest how your breath courses in and out. And just let that breath course freely. We'll add a little bit of movement by taking your face side to side. So just rolling your forehead across that upper hand. Trying to loosen into your neck a little bit. And then bring your head to stillness. Bring your legs a little closer to one another, tops of the feet on the floor. And then slide your hands back so that your hands are in line with your shoulders, but they're wider than your shoulders. I like to come onto my fingertips and point my elbows up towards the ceiling, but you certainly can have your palms down on the floor too. Rest your forehead onto your mat. Lift the fronts of your shoulders away from the mat. And then as you inhale, start to peel your forehead up and look forward. As you look forward in a little back bend, exhale, lower back down, forward bend, forehead to the mat. Inhale, lift your head, look forward. Let what happens in the back bend be an expression of what's on the inside. So fold down one more time, look within, and then inhale, lift your head, come into that little back bend. And then exhale, lower down. Come on to hands and knees. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. And once you're there, exhale into cat pose, turning within on this forward bend, and then inhale, cow pose, letting the inside come out on the back bend. 2 more times, exhale for cat, and inhale for cow. And then from neutral spine, you're going to keep your knees right where they are, but come into child's pose. So knees are more narrow here than you're used to for child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front. So deep forward bend here, turning within. And then take one inhale to come to plank from your knees. So shoulders over the wrists, knees are down. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Look within and then inhale, cobra, let it shine out. On your exhale, all the way back to child's pose with the knees closer together. One more time, we'll go through that sun salutation from our knees. Keep the knees down, inhale, plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Turn in, and then inhale, turn it up, open it out. And then back to all fours, and then from here, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Reach the heels down, reach the hips up. Let's put a little bend into the knees and lift the heels up a little bit so you can really start to stretch your hips up towards the ceiling. Try to keep that, and then lower the heels down, maybe get the legs a little straighter. Take a deep inhale here through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Walk your feet up towards the front of your mat. And then once you get to the front of your mat, take your feet a little wider, put a generous bend into the knees, so you just let your ribs rest on top of your thighs and hold on to your elbows. Move your head around a little here to loosen your neck, sway through the upper body, or you can sway the hips side to side, whatever feels good. Really focus on lengthening the spine out here. And then release your fingers to the ground. Bring your feet closer together, maybe big toes touching. Still keeping a little bend into the knees. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, and then start to bring the hands away from your back. If you feel ready for a little bit more of a stretch in the backs of the legs, you can start working those legs straighter or keep that bend in the knees. Bring your hands to your back, bend back into the knees more generously here, and then sweep your arms forward until they're reaching straight forward for the wall in front of you. So we'll consider this a forward bend here, looking within, and then lift up just a little bit more. Lift the head up, and then lift your heels off the ground. Hold here, squeezing in, holding your balance, being steady. Arms in the air is a jubilant posture. So if you do indeed feel jubilant on the inside, maybe lift your chest and your hands up a little bit more. Heels down to the ground, and then stand all the way up. Arms up overhead, and then exhale, hands to your heart. A little bit of balance, a little bit of core involved there. We'll revisit that posture later in our practice. Let's flow with the breath. Inhale, take your arms up to the sky, look up past your thumbs. Exhale, hands down as you fan your arms out, fold in. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, in downward dog, deep inhale through your nose. Express through your mouth. Inhale, right leg to the sky, bend your knee and twist open, and roll your right ankle around 3 times in one direction, and then 3 times in the other direction. Stretch the right leg back, and then lower your foot down to the mat. Second side, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee and twist open. And then once you're in your twist, roll the ankle 3 times one way. And then 3 times the other direction. And then stretch your left leg back. Exhale, lower your foot to the mat. From here, inhale into plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your feet to the top of your mat, walking, stepping, or hopping up. Fold over the legs, let the head fold down, and then inhale, rise up, touch your palms. Exhale, hands to your heart. And we will add on to that sun salutation now. Be sure to move in concert with your breath and try to let every pose be an expression of what's on the inside. When we're in a forward bend, you turn in, and then when we open up into a back bend or an upright pose, you express. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lengthen out. On your exhale, take your vinyasa. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. That's where we will all meet, whether you're going through the vinyasa or not. And then from downward dog, inhale, right leg back and up. Bend your knee and twist open. We're going to try not to flip over here, but try to find a little bit of balance. Tighten into your belly, and then maybe try to get your right hand or part of your right hand off the floor. And then right hand back down. Stretch the right leg back. Exhale, lunge it to the front of your mat. Come up to warrior 2. On your exhale, side angle pose. Right arm on the leg or right fingers to the ground. Let's bring the left arm right over the ear and really get that length through the left side body. And then we're going to take that left arm back behind us and bind it around behind the back. So binding can just be pressing the back of your hand into some part of your back, and then roll your top shoulder back a little bit more. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling, opening up. And then as you inhale, lift up. We'll come into horse stance here with eagle arms. So arms out to the sides, and then we'll bring the left arm under the right arm, palms touching.
Send your hips back as you fold halfway forward. As the hips go back more, reach your fingers farther out in front, folding in here, and then release the hands down, square your feet up. We'll take 4 side lunges, first to the right knee, and then to the left, and back to the right. And then when you come to the left, hold here. And no matter how high or low you are, see if you can bring your hands to your heart. And we'll hold that just for a beat. And then hands down to the mat. Straighten your legs. Fold in a little bit more here. Any hand posture works. That helps you get a little bit deeper into your forward bend. Look within when you're folding in. Focus on that internal health. The external takes care of itself. As you inhale, rise up to stand. All the way upright. Warrior 2. Turn your right toes out to the right. Open your arms out front and back. And then on an exhale, windmill your hands down to the mat. Flip up your back heel. And then as you inhale, take your right hand up to the sky, twisting around to the right, and then bind that right hand around behind your back. Whatever degree of binding works, just draw that right shoulder back, twist a little bit more, and then inhale, release. Hand down, one leg dog, lift your right leg up, one leg vinyasa option here. If you were either worried or excited that the whole playlist was going to be the Wu-Tang Clan, it's not. You probably figured that out by now. Second side, inhale, left leg back and up, bend your knee and twist open. Get a little stronger into your core, be steady with your gaze, and then try to lift part or all of the left hand off the mat. And then left hand back down. Stretch the left leg back. As you exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Rise up to warrior 2. Let this pose be an expression of what's on the inside. On your exhale, side angle pose. Left forearm on the thigh or left fingers to the ground. Right arm right outside your ear. And then take that right arm back behind you and bind it around behind your back, whatever degree of binding feels right for you, to help you pull your right shoulder back a little bit more. As you inhale, lift up, turn to face the right long side of your mat in horse stance. And then arms out to the sides. We'll take the eagle wrap with the arms. This time, right arm under the left arm. Once you've got the wrap, start to send your hips back and bow about halfway forward, reaching your fingertips far in front of you. And then unwrap the arms, hands to the mat, straighten the legs. We'll take 4 side lunges, first into the left knee, and the right, and the left. And when you get back to the right, we're going to hold and see maybe if you can bring your hands up to your heart here. And then hands back to the ground. Straighten both legs, fold in. Maybe this time you take your hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and then work the arms overhead. If your hands are lifted, bring them back down to the mat and then stand all the way upright. Warrior 2 again. Turn the left toes out to the left, arms front and back. And then on an exhale, windmill your hands down, lift your back heel up. And then when you inhale, lift your left arm up to the sky, twisting to the left, rotating around, and then bind that left arm. Bring it around behind your back somewhere. Maybe fingers wrap around the front of the right hip. And then inhale, release. Both hands down,
one leg dog, lift up your left leg, one leg vinyasa. Bring your feet to the top of your mat, walk, step, or hop up, fold over your legs, and then inhale, rise up, lift up, arms up overhead. Again, jubilant expression. If you feel it, show it, and then exhale, hands to your heart. Standing on your right foot, dancer pose. Bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, grab your foot. This is a variation of dancer pose. Take your right arm straight up into the air. We'll take a couple of breaths here, working on our standing balance and also just letting the muscles in the left quadricep stretch out a little bit. Now we'll go into the expression of dancer by forward bending, so hinging forward at your right hip and pushing your foot back into your hand, lifting your heart up. Let this pose come from the inside to the outside. And then on an exhale, chair pose, lower your left foot down to meet the right. Turn your palms to face forward in chair. Lift your heels off the mat. Drinking bird, exhale, bow forward, fold over your thighs, press your palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift up, heels are lifted, hips are low. 2 more times, exhale, fold forward, press the palms up. Inhale, lift up, arms up, open up and express. 1 more time, get low here, folding in. And then inhale, lift up. Express whatever you saw on the inside, lower your heels down, forward bend with straight legs, fold over them. Inhale, lengthen out, make your way through your vinyasa. I'll meet you in downward dog. Oh, y'all are looking beautiful. From downward facing dog, inhale, right leg back and up. On your exhale, plant your right foot to the top of your mat, high crescent pose. Back heel is lifted, arms in the air again. What's on the inside, let it filter out through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to the heart. So you're gonna keep everything as it is, just bow forward a little bit here. And then twist. Twist to the right. So bring the left arm across. Find that twist. And then once you've got the twist here, fly the hands apart. So left fingers down towards the floor, right fingers up towards the sky. You're going to keep the arms in this relation as you inhale, lift up, crown of your head up overhead. Left arm out in front, right arm back behind. We'll call this twisted crescent. And then high crescent, bring both arms back up overhead here. Exhale, half moon pose. As you come into half moon, notice if you use a block under your right hand, notice where that block is, because we're going to want to place it there later. And then we'll bind this pose, half moon Chapasana. Bend your back knee, reach back with your left hand, grab your left foot. You can use a strap here. And then on an exhale, move your heel away from your hip. Roll your left shoulder back. Breathe into the pose. It is a back bend. It's an expressive pose of what's on the inside. And then as you exhale, release your foot, lower it back to a short lunge, and then straighten your left leg, fold down into it. We're almost done here. Bend back into your right knee. One leg dog, take your right leg back and up. Bend your knee and twist open. And if you like to flip over, flip over, find your back bend here, lifting the chest up. And then if you flipped over, you're just gonna sit down, lower your hips down so you're facing the back of your mat. If you did not flip over, then you're gonna turn to face the back of your mat with your left leg straight and your right knee bent, sole of the foot on the floor. Take your right arm up, and as you exhale, bow down inside that right leg. Maybe you reach out for your foot. And then inhale, come back up. We've got to get back around to one leg dog. Or if you did not flip, you're just going to come around to downward dog, however you get there. If you're coming to one leg dog, you've got your left hand, or left hand back on the mat. You're going to sweep around, lift your hips up, and then place the right hand on the mat. One leg dog, one leg vinyasa. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold into them, and then chair pose. Lower your hips. Chair pose is a little bit of a forward bend as we come from the floor and lift up, and then we turn it into that back bend. Going from the inside out, letting that smile or whatever it is come from your belly and express through your face. And then straighten the legs, standing back bend. Use your hands for support, either at your low back or at your head, where you need it. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Dancer pose, standing on your left foot. Bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand. Grab your foot, take your left arm up. We'll pause here. It's getting a little steadier in our balance. A little longer in the front of the right thigh. And then start to hinge forward at your hip. Take your chest forward, push your foot back into your hand, lift up through your chest a little bit more, and then on your exhale, chair pose, right foot meets the left, arms up overhead, hips go low. Turn your palms to face forward, lift your heels off the mat. 3 times, drinking bird. Exhale, bow forward, look within, press the palms up to the sky. Inhale, arms come forward and up in an expression of what's on the inside. Exhale, bow forward, look in. Inhale, lift up, open up. One more time, bow and lift. And then lower your heels down, lower your hands down, straighten your legs. Inhale, lengthen out halfway. On your exhale, take your flow. From downward dog, inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, plant it at the front of your mat. High crescent pose. Rise up. Open up. Arms up overhead. Let them express what's on the inside. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bow forward, hug your belly in. Use your core to twist to the left, pulling that right arm across to the outside of your left leg. Rotating into your twist, fly the arms apart, right fingers to the floor, left fingers to the sky. Keep the twist, keep the arms like this. Inhale, lift up, revolved crescent pose. And then high crescent, back to the front of your mat, facing forward. On your exhale, come out to half moon pose. And again on this side, if you use a block under your left hand, Just notice where you put that block. Half moon Chapasana or half moon sugar cane. Bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand, find your foot, and then press it open. This is a little bit of a forward bend. It's a little bit of a back bend. Inside and outside. On your exhale, release your foot, step back into a short lunge, just a couple of inches shorter than you normally would lunge, and then straighten your left leg, fold into it. Then back into your knee, and then one leg dog. Take your left leg back and up, bend your knee and twist. And if you flip over, you're gonna go ahead and flip here. Find the back bend in your flip, and then lower your hips to the ground in a seat. If you didn't flip over, you're gonna turn seated, facing the back of your mat. Right leg is straight, left knee is bent. Take your left arm up. As you exhale, bow down inside your leg, folding forward. And then inhale, lift back up. Right hand is back on the mat. See if you can lift back up into your three-pointed back bend here, pushing into your feet, lifting your hips up, and then lowering your left hand down, coming around to one leg dog, one leg flow. You got it. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold into your legs. And then last chair pose of the practice. Lower your hips down, lift up, forward bending and back bending simultaneously, inner to outer expression in the pose, and then stand all the way up, and now a standing back bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We've got one more flow on each side. We're going to incorporate many of the poses we did in those first two flows in this one. If you use a block under your right hand when you are in half moon or half moon sugarcane pose, place that block over on the right side of your mat. If you can remember where, great. If not, it'll be in the general location where you need it. On an inhale, lift your arms up, stretch up tall. On an exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, take your vinyasa. From downward dog, inhale, lift your right leg back and up. On your exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Come up to high crescent pose. Arms in the air, expressing what's in your heart. On an exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're going to take a side lunge. You're going to turn towards the long left side of your mat, bending into that left knee, maybe keeping your hands at your heart. And then scooting back around towards the front of your mat, taking a twist. So left hand down, right arm up. Maybe you bind your right hand behind your back, maybe into the left hip crease. Keep the hand there, keep the binding, and then inhale, lift up to Revolved Crescent. So you're gonna sweep that left arm forward, and then see if you can bring it all the way over your ear as you take a back bend here. And then inhale, back up, come up to high crescent pose. So again, both arms up overhead. From here, eagle pose. You're gonna wrap your left leg over the right, and your left arm under the right arm. On an exhale, squeeze in, nest, pulling the elbows down towards the knees. And then from here, lift back up into dancer pose. Unwind the legs, unwind the arms. Still standing on your right leg. Take your left foot behind, grab it with your left hand, right arm up overhead. Bow forward in your dancer. And then from dancer, half moon, sugar cane. Bring your right fingers down to your block or the floor, and then lift your left side body up towards the ceiling as you push your left foot towards the wall behind you. And then exhale, gently release. Step back into lunge. One leg dog. Take your right foot back and up behind you. Bend your knee, twist open, and if you want to flip over here, go ahead and flip, and we're going to sit on our mats, or you're probably a little off your mat, facing the back of your mat, left leg straight, right knee bent, kneecap up towards the ceiling. Take your right arm up as you exhale, fold inside the right leg, and then maybe bind around that right leg. Inhale, release the bind. Place your left hand on your mat, right arm out in front. You're going to turn those left toes out to face the left, and then we will lift the hips up, coming into a back bend here, and then around to one leg dog. Last one leg flow on this side. From your downward dog, if you just reach up with your hand. If you use a block under your hand for half moon sugar cane, just move that block over to the left side of your mat. And then get back to your regular downward dog here. Second side, inhale, lift the left leg back and up. Exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Come up to high crescent pose. On your exhale, hands to your heart, side lunge into the right knee. So you turn to face the right long side of your mat, find that side lunge, and then work back towards the front of your mat, hands down in lunge. Lift your left arm up into the air, twisting to the left, and then bind that left hand, bring it around behind your back. Keep the bind, rise up to Revolved Crescent, so sweep the right arm forward, and then maybe bring that right arm alongside your ear. Take a little back bend here in your Revolved Crescent. Inhale, release, both arms back up overhead, high crescent, regular high crescent pose. On your exhale, eagle pose, standing on the left leg, wrap the right leg on top and the right arm under. Exhale, fold in, tend to what's on the inside here. And then inhale, lift up, open up to dancer pose, still on the left foot, right foot behind you, grab it, and then bow forward. Half moon sugar cane, left fingers to your block or the floor, and then rotate, lifting the right side body towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release. Stretch your right foot towards the back of your mat, hands down, one leg dog. Lift your left leg back and up, bend your knee, twist open, and then flip over. And then from your flip, lower your hips down. Again, if you didn't do the flip, sit on your mat facing the back, right leg out in front, left knee bent. Take your left arm up and bow forward, maybe binding around your left leg, hands reaching behind your back, folding in. Inhale, release. Take your right hand back to the mat, left arm up. You're gonna push into the feet, lift the hips up for your back bend, three-pointed back bend, and then back around to one leg dog, one leg vinyasa. It's the last one. We're gonna meet in child's pose. In your child's pose, let the effort of the practice go. Let the front body sink down towards the earth. Let the forehead rest on your mat. Or if that's not working, forehead on a block. And then make your way forward onto your belly. From your belly, bend both knees. Reach back with your hands to hold on to your feet or your ankles. Bow pose. So here, bowing down to the floor, take a look within. Get strong in your belly, lift the fronts of the shoulders up, and then as you exhale, express from the inside out, pushing the feet up into the air, and then the toes back behind you, lifting your head up, maybe swaying a little bit here with your breath. And then exhale, release down, stretch the legs back. Lift yourself up to hands and knees. And then from here, we're gonna come to a wide leg seat on our mats. Put a little muscle action into your legs just so that they're not loose. We want to keep a little muscular energy there so we don't get to the end range of our flexibility. That's when we get into danger in yoga. Lift your chest up and then try to keep that chest lifted as you walk your hands forward and fold forward. Maybe your forearms are on blocks. Maybe you're on your fingertips here. And then some of you might have your chest and your forehead on the floor. So a deep folding in. An opportunity to look at and be with what you're really feeling on the inside. Push into your hands, start to lift back up. Take your hands on either side of your right leg, twist around to the right, and then fold over your leg. You can reach your hands out to grab onto your leg or your foot. And then inhale, start to use your hands to walk back up.
We'll revolve around to the other side, hands on either side of the left leg. Twist towards your left leg and then fold over it. Use your hands, start to walk back up. We're gonna go right down the middle one more time. So hands to the center, front body long, and then reach forward, bow forward. Okay, walk your hands back in. Bring your legs together. And we'll take another forward bend here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach out. Rest your hands on whatever part of your legs they naturally go to, and then fold in. We'll stay here just a little bit longer. Really tapping into the inside. About 3 more breaths here. And then start to make your way back up to your seat. So we're going to take 2 back bends from the seat. The first one is with knees bent. Maybe the second one is with straight legs. So bend your knees. Some people call this reverse tabletop. The yoga name is, in English, intense stretch of the front body or the east side of the body. So hands down onto the floor. If your wrists are tired or they just feel tight, turn your fingers out to the sides. If your wrists feel okay, point your fingers forward, draw your shoulders back. Start to lift your chest forward and get your head in line with your spine. Take a breath in and then push the floor away with your feet and with your hands. Lift your hips up, lift your chest up, and let this be your expression of what's on the inside. Let it out, let it go here. And then on an exhale, lower your hips back down. So you can stay there with bent knees. It's a little bit easier to lift the hips off the ground with bent knees, or you can go with straight legs. You're gonna have to really press the back of your heel into the floor and use the muscles along the backs of both legs to help you get the hips to lift into your back bend. So you decide straight legs or bent knees. Place your hands about shoulder width distance apart. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chest up, lift the face up, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, push into your hands, push into the back of your heel, lift the hips up, try to rotate the soles of the feet down towards the floor, whether they touch or not. Keep lifting through the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades onto the back. And then exhale, lower your hips down, and then roll onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest, and rock across your back.
Keep your knees in, take your arms out to a T with your palms facing up. As you exhale, take your knees to the right and take your gaze to the left. And then close your eyes here. Maybe with your eyes closed and the effort of the practice behind you, you can focus a little bit more on your internal health. Letting what you hear and see and feel on the inside be your guide to what's happening on the outside. Inhale, bring your knees up, and then take your knees over to the left. Take your gaze to the right. And then once you're settled in your twist, close your eyes. Again, turning your senses within. Okay, on an inhale, bring your knees back up. Hug your knees into your chest. And we'll take happy baby pose. Reach up, grab onto your feet. Widen the knees out, so wider than your torso. And then try to draw the knees down towards the floor on the outside of your rib cage. Take a breath in here, and then as you exhale, release your feet, stretch them out long onto your mat. It's time for corpse pose. So if there are any props that you want, maybe a rolled up towel under your knees, maybe something heavy over your pelvis to help ground you, to help weight you. Find your props and settle into your pose. Once you're there, you will, on your own, take 3 deep inhales through your nose and then a big exhale through your mouth. Focus on each one of those 3 exhales, sending out what's on the inside of you. If there's a smile in your belly, let it come out through your face. Do the inside work, the inside job, and let the outside take care of itself. Come back into your natural breath, just breathing easy in and out of your nose. And we'll stay with that breath for the rest of the practice.
Take a few more breaths here to be with, recognize what you're feeling, what's in your heart, what's on the inside. And then start to move your external form, moving your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles, maybe turning your head side to side. Stretch your arms above your head, point your toes. Stretch your body out one more time. And then on an exhale, roll to your side and take a moment here to honor your practice, to honor the work that you put into letting your authentic self shine out. Honor the work of listening and then letting the exterior match the interior. Bring yourself up to a seat and close your eyes. Once you're comfortable in your seat, bring your hands together at your heart. I hope as you go through your day, you're able to keep listening and respecting what's on the inside of you and letting the exterior take care of itself. Let's take a couple of breaths to join our energy together and direct that energy to those in need today. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.